So, all right. I think that'll work. All right, Johnny, where are you a pastor at?
At Mayfair Bible Church.
Mayfair Bible Church.
In Chicago.
In Chicago. Where did you go to school?
Moody Bible Institute.
Nice. And what is like your Greek level of experience?
Well, in my time at Moody, I took 7 Greek classes.
That's a lot of Greek.
Yeah. And so all the way through Greek reading.
Okay.
And then I took Romans and Greek, which they were offering at that time. And so by the time I was done in my undergrad, I could read relatively well and had lots of exegesis practice from exegesis 1 and 2 and Romans and Greek. So when I graduated, I mean, I could read relatively okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So like genuinely just throughout the New Testament, you could read pretty well.
Yeah. So I always, ever since then, whenever someone's reading in the New Testament, especially in church, I follow along in my NA 27.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I don't. Okay. Right after I graduated, I was reading Greek more devotionally, like just my daily Bible readings I was using. I was reading in Greek. I've stopped doing that mostly, and mostly because I would get too caught up in some of the grammar and exegesis, and it would slow me down too much. Like I'd stop to think about Greek makes me slow down and stop and read.
Right,
well.
like more intentionally.
Yeah. And then I would never actually read like significant portions because I'd get through like 3 or 4 verses and I'd be like, no, let me think about what this means more. So I read devotionally now usually in English in a couple different versions, but whenever I'm studying or teaching, then I'm usually
go into the Greek.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's cool. Okay, and that segues well into my next question is how has Greek been useful and how have you used it in your time at Mayfair being a pastor and teaching?
I mean, it's useful. It's really useful for me because having the exegetical tools to be able to look at a passage and feel like, okay, I can understand from the grammar all the way up to the application. Like, I think I can get a good grasp of what the actual author is intending to communicate.
Okay.
So sometimes when you read in English, it's not clear. And so what I have appreciated the most is because of understanding something like uses of the genitive or how different verb forms can function, it helps you understand more clearly what might not be precisely communicated in English. So, like my general rule is English is good enough, and if we're studying hard, English is not going to, leave us with nothing to learn.
Right.
There's always more to learn. But I've appreciated being able to come to a passage.
Okay.
and see from the Greek, it helps my each level, the interpretation level, the application level, to really help me be more certain that I'm teaching it accurately.
Okay.
So obviously there's lots of tools to do that too. There's commentaries and things like that. But it helps me say, okay, yes, I can see why this passage means this instead of maybe a couple options that might be presented in English. So it doesn't always solve the problems.
But it can help you like get to the answer that you're...
It can help you see more clarity in the text.
Okay.
And in fact, if you start with Greek, it can help you see more clarity in the text with less time, like studying.
Interesting.
So if you're at the level where you can read and you can start to see, okay, I understand what's going on here in the passage. Right. What might be vague in English and make you go to commentaries or something else to really find like a fine-tuned explanation of what the passage is doing. You can do that in Greek much more quickly if you understand what the grammar is doing and how the exegesis works.
Okay. So what I'm thinking of is like at home my dad is a mechanic, and instead of going to a mechanic to like change our tire, change our oil, or something simple, we can do that at home.
Sure,
and that's a lot easier and a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a similar.
Right.
situation.
If you can do it yourself, I mean, it's always good to check your work and double check what you're teaching is accurate. But it sometimes makes those steps go a lot quicker because you can spend your studying comes up with more specific answers because of the way the verb is used, the tense it's in, or how a specific noun is functioning. So that's one of the things that I appreciated most about doing exegesis, and Dr. Sauer always making us say, this is the specific way this word is being used in every word that we translated. Because it really helps you make those, by the time you're done with the exegesis, it's almost like the application is built in.
Right.
Because you understand what it's saying.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's super cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. And I appreciate
That's it?
That's it. That's all of it. Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you for doing it. I appreciate it.